Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP discovered that his pure religious fiancé was actually banging two other dudes. Let's begin. I just found out this morning that my fiancé was cheating on me with her boyfriend of 6 years, of which I did not know the existence of. Posted by Reddit user Chocolate Hand.
So this is my first post, so forgive any mistakes. I'll be vague with the dates. I have been with this girl for a couple of years, and we got engaged at the beginning of the year with all her and my extended family. She always told me she had one boyfriend many years ago and was single for a while before meeting me. She lives 2 hours away from me. I had no reason to doubt her, and at first, she gave me no reason to do so. A few months ago, a guy wrote on Instagram to me telling me about her past, and I asked for any proof and he told me to find them by myself. But after that he gave me few names and an Insta ID. I asked Guy 2 if what Guy 1 told me was true. He denied everything, and when I told my ex-fiancé, she also denied it. For the last month I was always skeptical about her, but then I decided to trust her, and maybe that Guy 1 was just trying to mess up my mind. And then this morning Guy 2 contacted me with another ID and asked my number. Then he told me everything. For how many years, even before knowing me, they were together, how many guys she had, and then he sent me photos, videos, and audios. I asked him for dates to make sure it was after we got engaged. Then he sent me a video and the screenshot of the date and time when he took the video. In the video she was without any clothes and was using her phone. He sent also photos of her topless with the ring I've given her. I went to check the messages of that date with her, and at the exact time of the video, she was messaging with me while she was with Guy 2 in the hotel. After that I went out and called my friend and talked with him. He calmed me down and said to verify again that everything Guy 2 sent me was true. So we double-checked everything. And then I went home and stayed in my car for 3 hours, waiting for my dad to come home from work. Meanwhile she called me, and we talked, and then I said, I'm happy today, I feel very lucky. She asked me why and I told her to wait a few hours. Then I saw my dad and told him everything. He seemed calm at first, and we went inside and he told my mom. I didn't tell her anything before because she suffers from depression, and man, I saw my mom and dad crying for the first time. They loved this girl, called her their second child. Every time they meet, they used to give her gifts and money. Then my mom called her mom, and everything went down. Calls, messages from her parents. She called me and I sent her every proof this Guy 2 sent me. She denied everything, totally trying to gaslight me. I told her to check the videos and photos, etc. And then her parents asked to talk with me and I said no. She still said she only loves me, will only marry me, or she will never. Then I hung up and my parents took my phone and sent the proofs to her parents. And no more calls. We were supposed to get married in December. I don't know why or for what reason this Guy 2 contacted me now, but wanted to thank him, but he blocked me. So, well, now I'm in my bed and waiting for I don't know.
Congratulations, OP. Bullet dodged. Almost. It still hurts. I know it does. But trust me, it will get better over time. Look, I know both guys did you a favor by exposing your ex's infidelity, but don't elevate them too much. They still had sex with a woman with a ring on her finger and was contacting her fiancé right in front of them. Like your ex, both of these guys are not good people. They are scum. They are scum who did a good deed. One of them even avoided you for a while. OP, just forget about all three of them and move on with your life. And now, it's time for OP's update.
So Monday morning I found out that my fiancé, now ex, was cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend. Read the other post for details. 2 days later I found out that she was back in my home country with her mom, and I called her dad but he couldn't say anything. So his friend said that they are still investigating what happened and other nonsense. Yesterday they called my parents and admitted that they sent her and her mom back, but he, her brother, and some family friends. I was at work and they went back before I came home. My parents told me that they were devastated, couldn't stop crying. Her brother couldn't walk properly for the shame and went back home before I came back because they couldn't face me. I was reasonably mad because I wanted to say a lot of things to them and also ask a lot of things. But my dad told her father I wasn't in his right state of mind, and he was afraid he would do something to himself if he saw me. Yes, in my culture, if girl do something like this, it will probably ruin the whole family's reputation and can't show face in public. As for the ring, they don't know if the girl has brought it with her or is it here at their house, but I have been clear about this. I want my ring. Not for the value, but because that's something I give to a person I thought was my partner, to someone I trusted. Well, for what I know, they will marry her to some poor soul back in my country to save what's remaining of their reputation. Well, there's an old say in my country: you spend all your life building up your reputation, but it will take only a moment to ruin it to dust. Finally, I thank all those who have given me advice and helped, even contacting me in private to help me vent. Thank you all. Good night.
Like I said before, OP, you dodged a bullet, but you were not fast enough. Look, I'm really sorry that she turned out to be such a low moral piece of shit, but at least you got out of the way with just a grace. It's much better that it happened now than after you got married. Just imagine the financial loss and the heartbreak that you would suffer. But in the meantime though, lean on your family and friends. Be open about what happened, and remember, please remember to learn the lessons that you can about red flags. But dude, don't let it change who you are. I know I don't say this as much as I should on this channel, but there are still good women out there. Eventually you will find a loyal, loving woman, and when you find her, you will be so much happier. Good luck. And now, for today's second story. My wife held a talent show at our wedding reception. Her friend who sang networked with a guest who wants to potentially work with her. She has become very bitter since. Posted by Reddit user Throwr, a pitiful one.
TLDR. Wife held a talent show at our reception where her friend sang an original song. One of the guests was a producer on the side and networked with her afterwards. My wife became bitter and demanded I cut off our friend group. I knew her since college, and I'll get that out of the way first. The past few days have shown a different side of her that's a little surprising, because Kate is her best friend from college. My wife, Nancy, wanted to do a mini talent show at our reception, and she talked it up beforehand too. She read a poem that she made for the event, and Kate performed a song that she wrote. Long story short, one of the guests who I invited is into producing, and he reached out to her after she performed. They exchanged information, and Kate was really excited. He wanted to network with her following the reception, and she even thanked my wife for hosting the talent show over text. But Nancy became really bitter about it, and that's why I'm writing this. She hasn't responded to Kate's message, and she said she regretted doing the talent show too. She also asked me to block Edward, the producer, on my socials and contacts, and I told her that seemed a bit much. She didn't like my answer and said that I was wrong to not take her side after just getting married, but I told her that she should be happy for her friend. She didn't like that either and vented to some in our friend group about how Kate was bragging, but some of them disagreed. She said she didn't want to hang out with them for the time being, and that included me too. Two of her girlfriends even texted me that she was overreacting, and that they were also surprised to see her act that way. They also asked if she was okay too. My dad is suggesting counseling, and said that asking me to remove friends is an unhealthy way to start a marriage, and I'm honestly more than a little scared. I asked if she'd be open to counseling, but she said there was no need, because Kate was her friend first and I shouldn't choose Kate over her. I just want to ask what to do next since she refused counseling and sees no issue with cutting off our friends. Edit. I want to add that Nancy complained that her poem didn't get as good of a reception as Kate's song. Kate didn't study music in college but practices on the side, and her text was really thankful for the opportunity that the talent show provided. Kate is also engaged to her longtime boyfriend.
Your dad is absolutely right. This isn't a healthy way to start a marriage. No, in fact, this isn't a healthy way to act in general. She should definitely be getting some sort of therapy. But if she refuses, I honestly can't really say what you should do other than keep trying to talk some sense into her. But OP, I think you might have married someone who has much deeper issues than you realize. Whatever happens, do not give in to her unreasonable demands. You and your friends have done nothing wrong, and you shouldn't have to cut them off. Honestly, your wife sounds like a Karen. Now for OP's update.
TLDR. My wife said she's not going on our vacation unless I blocked our friend group over two girlfriends who called out her bitterness. But when I refused, she went to her parents for space. It's been a little over 2 weeks since my first post, and I've had some time to try and process. A lot of it still feels surreal having known her since my early 22nd and the 180 after the wedding. I want to address a few things that were asked in my first post before getting to the update. Nancy and Kate were not the only ones who performed in the talent show. During planning, Nancy said she wanted to showcase her friends and how awesome and proud she was to have them. She also said it was a bonding thing between her girlfriends from our friend group, and the girls were the ones who performed. However, given her post-reception 180, it really surprised me in comparison to her pre-talent show mindset. A few people commented that she didn't need to have a talent show to read the poem she made for the wedding. She could have just read it at any time as the bride. Update. The reason I'm writing this post is because of something else that came up and led to a conversation. We had a vacation coming up, but she no longer wants to go on it. In the time since my first post, she's continued to have random mood swings due to thinking about Kate. Sometimes that's venting about how Kate would have nothing without her, or getting really quiet and distant, even while eating. She's also still upset at her girlfriends who she vented to about Kate. But when they disagreed and called her out for being bitter over a talent show no one forced her to have, she told me to cut off our friend group along with blocking the producer and girlfriends too. When I disagreed, she became distant and said I was choosing them over her. My dad suggested counseling and talking to her again, because asking me to cut off friends was an unhealthy start to the relationship. So I talked to her after my first post and asked if she'd be open to it, but she said there was no need because all I had to do was cut them off. She also said I was choosing them over her, and that she wouldn't go on our vacation until I did. When I asked her why Kate bothered her so much, she said she tried to publish in the past a novel and didn't get any hand-me-downs then. But when I reminded her that my friend was a producer on the side in his basement, she said I should have known better than to invite him, as if I should have known he would have liked Kate's song. When I told her that I wouldn't block the producer or the entire friend group, she said I was entitled like Kate, and that she wanted a break because I didn't care about her. I told her that I love her, but didn't think it was healthy to cut off everyone. I also told her that she should be happy for her friend, because Kate was really grateful, but she didn't seem to care. She has since gone to stay with her parents and left some of her things in our apartment. I talked to my dad after she ignored texts and calls for a few days, and he suggested bringing up an annulment because it had gone too far. Her parents have also ignored my calls, but I want to clarify Kate's text before I'm done. Kate wasn't arrogant or anything to Nancy. All she did was thank her for putting together the talent show that allowed her to network with the producer after the wedding, and she also offered to take her out to lunch as thanks. There was no arrogance from Kate, and the producer is also engaged as some people inquired about too. I'm just really surprised and hurt that her bitterness turned me into a bad guy for inviting my producer friend as if I was supposed to see into the future and not invite him.
Holy shit. The fucking audacity of that bitch to accuse people of being entitled when she herself is an insufferable, bitter, jealous little shit is absolutely infuriating. The talent show, OP, at your wedding, it was never to show off how awesome her friends were. No, it was never about them. It was all about her. It was about her showing off how awesome she thought she was, and it backfired. Now she's jealous and bitter that she didn't make it as a writer, while her little show resulted in an opportunity for someone else, not her. That's just a very selfish behavior. Her attitude towards you and her friends is absolutely disgusting. This is just a preview, OP. Just a preview of what your life will be if she doesn't get her way or anyone in your group, including you, become successful. Is this really the life you want? Is this really what you want for the rest of your life? OP, listen to your father. He is a wise man. This is not the kind of woman you want to be married to. Just cut your losses and get an annulment. It would be so much better for you. Good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.